What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. So there I was trying to set up, trying to get ready for all my stuff this evening to do a stream. When out of nowhere I noticed that someone had dropped a comment down on a video saying that they've checked out the new gameplay trailer for Rugby 22. Now, of course, we're only 2 weeks away from this coming out. I've been following it immensely closely, checking every day to see if there's any new news, any new updates, any new things going on with it, and I have completely missed this. Nakon have dropped this. I can't see it on any of their social media, however it is on YouTube. You can actually check out the gameplay trailer. So of course, what are we going to do today other than check out that exact gameplay trailer? So what we do, of course, is we'll chuck me down in the corner one way or another. Don't know where I'm going to chuck myself, and we will check out this gameplay trailer. Alrighty, so let's start it off. We start off with a guy with his ball doing that classic bouncing thing that a lot of the fly halves do. There is a referee on the field. Experience, true stuff, improved AI. That is something we absolutely want. Looks like they've got a new mauling system on the go. Rico Ioane getting a lovely little try there. The same sort of kicking mechanics as we expect. New control system to do with the lineouts and stuff to look at there. The scrummaging looks pretty much the same straight from the off there. Show off your tactical advantage. So, I mean, the tactic gameplay that we saw a lot in that first Rugby 20 game looks like they've kept that same green and blue menu that I wasn't that much of a fan of, but I do like the idea of being able to utilize different tactics and stuff in the game. We'll see how that gets on. New training and difficulty again, so testing out new mauling system. It's quite good that they implement the training in that way. DuPont with a lovely pass. Looks to be like first person there. I really wonder if they're going to have added in a first person. I think that would be pretty cool. And there it is, Rugby 22 coming out on the 27th of January. Now, of course, there's going to be quite a lot to talk about because there's a lot of things that have been brought up in this video. So we will go through and point out some of the key things that I've noticed from the video. So, of course, starting off with the main area here, we have the referee. Now, some rugby games actually don't have a referee on the field, so it's nice to see this included in this gameplay trailer. Makes me think that there is going to be a referee on field at all times. It would actually be quite nice to see a really improved AI system that I doubt is going to be in this game, but I've always wanted one where you could actually maybe get away with some penalties if the referee wasn't close enough to you or something. I think that could have been cool. Don't know if they're going to actually implement that in. Of course, the experiencing the true rugby, that's what they like to really push, that they get this sort of true angle to rugby, and they do add a lot of cool stuff in. The improved AI. Now, I'm not really sure what this image sort of stops here, just highlighting 3 people, whether this is to show that they're marking each player. I expect the AI to be marking each player. Maybe it means there'll be slightly better marking from the AI towards your actual attack. Rugby 20, it was very easy to attack. It was very easy to score an awful lot of points. Of course, they're going to show off some of the licensed teams in here as well. The new mauling system they've got in here. So this is slightly different. Mauling in Rugby 20 was broken. It was basically, if you set up a maul, you were going to make 15 yards down the field, no matter where. It could not be collapsed. It could not be stopped. If you did a 5-meter maul from a line out, it was a guaranteed try. So it looks like they've changed it up a little bit here. They've changed the bar. It looks like they've obviously recorded this on PlayStation. They've got PlayStation controls. It's a square to push. I imagine that'll probably be X or something to push. So looks like you're trying to keep it in the bar. Maybe trying to make it more like the scrums. I actually didn't mind the scrum setup with the ball sort of pinging around on the sides. They've got a slightly updated menu in the top left, something to look at there. The way they've actually now got the initials and the scoreboard and stuff made that more, I'd probably say that's closer to maybe like a TV standard that you might see on like a standard television broadcast for a game. So that's not that bad. I actually don't mind that. Now, just taking a quick second here just to look at the graphics. Now, this stopped image here of the maul. Now, for someone who has put an immense amount of hours into Rugby 20, I can say this to me does actually look slightly better graphics than Rugby 20. The actual pitch itself looks very similar, but looking in the background here, seeing a lot of things like the players sat on the bench in the background. I don't remember really seeing that very obviously back in Rugby 20. There's sort of the tunnels. They've got a few more players or just general staff standing around. You've got some of the marshals and stuff on the side. That's nice. A lot of the players look a little bit more slim, a little bit more sort of cut in, more like a rugby stature. It was quite apparent in Rugby 20. I did think a lot of the players looked like very spherical, very round. They look a lot more lean in this game, so I think that's a bit of a nicer touch. I don't know whether they've necessarily updated a lot of the actual character models, or maybe just the kits themselves look a little bit more vivid. This Japan team in this maul here looks a little bit better to me than the Rugby 20 game, but I can absolutely understand why a lot of people probably won't notice a massive difference. The actual players here in the tackle, I can't think who's being tackled here. Again, the player models, again, licensed teams will have slightly better player models than unlicensed teams. They don't put a lot of effort in. Even some of the licensed teams in Rugby 20 didn't necessarily look at all like they did. But I think the graphics to me from this actually look a little bit better. I am going to stop it here on this Monty Ioane beginning the try here. Now, something to look at here, not necessarily what we're looking at. I tend to not play the game this way round, where the camera's behind the player and it rotates. I don't really like that. I much prefer to have a sideline camera and play it like an actual game of rugby, especially with the Six Nations coming up, and I do all the videos with gameplay in the background. But of course, here you can see the referee is on the field. He's over there towards the middle of the field there. But something I'm more interested in is over on the right-hand side here. There seems to be player icons. There's 3 orange symbols and then 3 blue symbols. Now, that's something that I definitely don't recognise from Rugby 20. Looks to me if it's either going to be suggesting that players are off-screen. Maybe it's just saying how many more players you've got wide, but it looks to be only about 8 players on the Italian team here on the main image. So there's obviously going to be more than 3 outside. Maybe that actually signifies how many players you've got tied up in a ruck or a scrum. Now, I would quite like that, actually, just to be able to know who's off-screen, who's where, just to be able to symbolise how many. Maybe they're going to have updated the ruck system to actually be you're going to be telling the actual game how many players to put into a ruck. That could be a nice thing. Looking forward to see where they go with that one. Of course, we get to see Monty Ioane score a wonderful try there. Nice to see. Hopefully, we'll be seeing that in the Six Nations. A new control system now for the lineouts. This probably looks a bit more timing. Lineouts were difficult. If you threw it long and you basically pressed the back triggers on Xbox, I'm not sure what it would be on PlayStation, you basically won every lineout anyway. Some of the dummy jumps and stuff I actually quite liked in the lineout. Some of the AI sometimes fell for it. I always played it on pro difficulty. Most of the time they'll do the same jumper and it became a quick tap event. I'm quite quick at tapping buttons and stuff. I was certainly quicker than the AI. I tended to win 99% of the lineouts, really. So this looks a little bit more in depth now. Maybe this is going to be you actually timed the throw, but also you've got to time the jump in order to get there. Like that idea, really hoping that's what it is, and it's not just going to be they've replaced the quick time event with a who can get closest to the correct button, because that could either be, if the AI is too difficult, you'll never win one, and if you're too good as a player, you'll always win them. So hopefully, I'm hoping that's more of a time jump for the jumper, not a replacement of a quick time event with something else. Moving on to the scrums. The scrum to me looks pretty identical. Again, this image of the actual players, this looks better. Again, it's licensed teams, it's licensed kits. These kits to me in this image of the scrum happening look better than Rugby 20. They stand out a lot more, the pattern's a lot more vibrant. Again, it's a gameplay trailer. Have to be very careful how much extra effort's been put into making this look much better than the final game will be, but this does look better than Rugby 20, so I'm hopefully we'll be seeing a graphical improvement, which is what so many people were actually asking for in this game. Show off your tactical side. Now, of course, we saw this in Rugby 20. This is the Italian team setting up here in a bit of a triangle formation, the standard, 2 props to the forward, Barn at the back, sort of playing out the back here. It actually looks like, oh no, it is the 13. I thought there was 2 12s on the field there. Looks like Carlo Canna probably in that 13 shirt there. They have kept the same menu system. Now, I wasn't a fan of the colour scheme of the menu system, this vibrant blue with green and brown smudged in the middle. I'm not a big fan of it. Being able to change the player stuff, this is no different to Rugby 20, but nice to see they've kept that in. Hopefully they've added a couple more options as well, because there were some options that just didn't work, mainly based on the depth that your player stood at compared to the opponent. So hopefully they've added a few changes in there. Many set plays available. Of course, they were always going to keep in a lot of them. I mean, French switch, loop, pivot to 13, double switch, they are all the same as Rugby 20. So we may not be actually seeing a lot more. It's going to depend, of course, on exactly what I just said before, the depth of players and how they're going to be working, because a lot of the time you tried to do a set move, your players were far too much forward and they just got tackled after the first pass of it. So we'll be seeing what you do there. In fact, I have just noticed as well on this screen, with now Nakamura catching the ball for Japan, it's got the 3 blue symbol off to the right and the 1 blue symbol off to the left. So it actually is symbolising how many players you've got off screen either side of you. Maybe it's got nothing to do with the ruck or the scrum, actually. I always tend to play it sideways. That's something I've never seen that actually might have been in Rugby 20, and I've just not ever really experienced that. And then new training and difficulty. So, I mean, that's always useful, getting new training when they add in new modes and stuff. This will be something we'll be doing, of course, when that game comes out. I'll be needing to practice some of the new stuff, especially if they're changing the Mauling system and stuff. Practicing lineouts and stuff, it's always very useful. We've still got the pretty standard thing, the box kicks, the passing. Hopefully they actually reintroduce some of the ways the passing worked. I did find in the final release of Rugby 20 there was actually a point in the beta where the passing worked better for telling the player how far to pass, which I did actually think was better in the beta than the final release. So hopefully they've looked at that a little bit more just to get that passing. And then of course we have this very weird shot of watching DuPont pass the ball almost to a first-person view of a player as he catches the ball and offloads it through the middle as Holmes goes over for it. And it says, master the game and dominate the match. Now, I really wonder whether they're going to add in first person. Now, of course, they're going to do the general sort of create a team that they tend to do in these sorts of games, but are they going to do a create a player, maybe play through as a specific player through a tournament or with a team? Maybe you get to put a fantasy team together and you get to play as one of the players in first person. That's something I won't have seen from a rugby game before, I don't believe, or not for a long time anyway, if it has existed before. Really looking forward to see if they've implemented that, or maybe they've just done a cool visual graphic. Who knows how they're going to go about that. And then, of course, finally here, Rugby 22 coming out in January of 2022. Now, of course, as you can see on screen here, a whole bunch of box art, because I still cannot find this game digitally downloadable anywhere bar on PC, and it does make me a little bit worried as to whether they are actually going to be releasing this digitally. It's not on the Xbox Marketplace. I've tried to look up on the PlayStation Store. I can't find it currently available. It might have changed by the time this video goes up, don't know, but it's looking like it might be a disc-only thing, which feels like we're back in, what, like 2013 now, buying discs in order to play games. Superb. So hopefully they get around to doing some digital stuff as opposed to just doing it on disc, but might just come out on disc anyway. But there we have it, guys. That is a look at the gameplay trailer for Rugby 22. I was not expecting to make this video today. It's gone on a little bit longer than I expected it to, but I'm super interested to know what you guys think of it. So make sure you drop down in the comments what you thought of the gameplay. Did you think it looked just about the same as Rugby 20? Are you looking forward to this game being released? And they've finally given us news. I still find it very strange the way Nakon has done this, and the very slow ability to get some of this information out. Why would you not release this gameplay trailer around Christmas time? Start getting people super excited. I don't know, but it's 2 weeks out now until they are going to be releasing it. I'm really looking forward, and of course we will be picking this game up. We will be playing it on the channel. We will be doing streams. It will be a whole bunch of fun, so make sure you subscribe to the channel just to keep up to date with when those videos come out, all to do with Rugby 20. And if you enjoy this one, make sure to drop it a like, because it does really help the channel out, and it does help other people find the video game section of rugby, which is such a small section on YouTube. It's so nice when everyone comes together to watch these sorts of videos. But I hope you've all enjoyed today, guys. I will see you next time, hopefully, for some actual Rugby 22 gameplay. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.